The federal government has committed to helping feed hundreds of thousands of kids. It says it will launch a national school food program as part of the upcoming federal budget, pledging $1 billion to implement the program and fulfilling a 2021 campaign promise.
We'll be investing $1 billion to create a national school food program that'll provide meals to 400,000 more kids every year beyond those served by existing programs. We just know that when kids eat better, they do better in school.
The least we can do is take a little bit off their plates to have parents know that their kids can go to school and they will be guaranteed a nutritional meal. That is something that will be very meaningful.
1 in 4 school children is going without enough food. That's a major failure for Justin Trudeau.
Okay, for more on what the program could mean for Canadian families, Judith Barry is the co-founder of the Breakfast Club of Canada, and she joins me now. Judith Barry, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us today.
Good evening.
Why do you feel that a national food program like what the Prime Minister has announced is needed right now? How will this work?
Actually, we were acknowledging and welcoming this great announcement. As you mentioned, it's been since 2019 that it was mentioned in the federal budget, the intention to create such a program, and it has finally come into place with this announcement. It is placing finally our country as part of the other G7 countries that already had a national school food program. And why is it needed? Because there's hungry students. There's students coming to school on an empty stomach as we speak, and they can't learn, they can't grow healthy, and we need to do something about it.
So how far will $1 billion over 5 years go? Because right now there are programs that do this, mostly run at the provincial level because education is their jurisdiction. And I know there are charitable groups that plug some of the gaps. So where does this federal money fit into that picture?
I think that federal money is a very good start to leverage the existing provincial and territorial investment to school foods and leverage the community and philanthropic contributions as well, and the private contribution. But as we know and we witness on the ground, we need everyone to be part of the solution. There is nobody who can solve this alone by themselves. The needs are growing. There's more participants than ever that are showing up in the programs, and food insecurity is increasing in our country. From 2021 to 2022, there has been an increase of 28% of food insecure children in Canada. So really, it is welcomed, and we will work as we did for the National School Food Program public consultation. We will work in collaboration with the federal government and with our key allies at the provincial government levels to ensure that this program can be delivered and implemented as soon as possible.
Okay, they're calling it a national school food program, but it's kind of not. It's not a big national program totally run by the federal government delivering meals to every kid who's in school who needs it. So this will supplement what's there. It will help about 400,000 kids, is what the federal government says. So with 400,000 more children qualifying for meals, what kind of a gap is left? How many more kids still go to school every day without something healthy and nutritious or even available to eat?
According to our stat and Canadian research on breakfast skipping and school food hunger, there's 1 in 3 students coming to school hungry, which is an equivalent of over 1.5 million students. Having said that, there's already, as you mentioned, a great ecosystem of student nutrition stakeholders who are dedicated to supporting huge program numbers of existing programs. Breakfast Club of Canada only, we're supporting over 3,000 programs across the country in all provinces and territories, and we have hundreds of schools that have submitted a request to our organization and are waiting currently for some support. So we know that that investment should be reaching or adding 400,000 more students, as you mentioned, but we don't have all the details yet on how it will be rolled out. But we know that gaps and needs are huge in new programs, for new programs, but in the existing programs as well. The cost of food has been increasing over and over in the past few years, and the operation cost for those programs is growing. So we need to do something about the existing programs and all the waitlist programs as well.
Okay, so we don't yet know because we don't yet know. It's an easy way to say it, because we do need to see some details, and it does need to actually come into existence. And just as a final point, Judith, I wonder, what sort of challenges do you see for implementation here, right? Because this is multi-jurisdictional, like a lot of things the federal government is announcing right now. They have the spending power to do it, but they got to get buy-in and they need cooperation. So what would be the biggest hurdles to getting this going and getting kids eating?
From what we heard in the past months and from the provinces and territories, the government stakeholders are ready to act. So we hope that it won't take months and years to negotiate with the federal government. We know that all stakeholders are ready. They are committed to doing more. They are aware about the needs, and we will highly contribute to facilitate any conversation and accelerate impacts. So students next school year could be fed as soon as possible.
I guess the key is not to create a whole new bureaucracy, but it's to flow the money to the people who are already doing it and let them scale up. I guess that's your hope of how this works?
Absolutely. That's our hope, and we'll really act as a strategic partner for all levels of governments, and will support the implementation phases. And we hope that ultimately we will be able to building on that very first investment, understanding that there's more need.
Okay, Judith Barry, it was good to speak with you. Thanks so much. It's Judith Barry, co-founder of the Breakfast Club of
Thank you.
Canada.